Welcome back to lesson 7. So today we're going to build on what we started to discuss, linear or drawn space and a felt space. And the way we can really understand space, if you think of Kant, if you think of a lot of philosophy, is by the objects within a space and actually the distance between them and how things react. So let's start with the basics. If I had a circle and I had a square, always think about the world is made up of geometric shapes and organic shapes, okay? Now, a circle, as Giotto showed you, is very hard. At that same circle, as it starts to turn, becomes an oval. So if I was to look at this way, it's an oval. Now, if I do this oval with one pressure, it's flat. Now, immediately go back to your egg. If you can draw the egg, you can draw anything. If I start to think of slowing down, changing the pressure of this oval, we can get inside that. All of a sudden, this is going to feel like a bowl, okay? I remember that you can see things in paintings and it's not all there. The eye, we understand, we build the rest of the form. It's suggestive, it's poetry. So, now, how do we make this bowl feel like it actually has dimension, has gravity, has weight? We can do shading. You can basically take a pencil. I'm just going to use charcoal because it's easier to see. You can start to think, okay, where's your light source? Let's have one light source. Here's the light coming from here, okay? Again, this is like your one-point perspective. The light is going in one place. So where is it going to hit? This is going to become darker down here. You can actually then use an eraser to start to find the highlights. Now, if this becomes dark because the light source is over here, the inside of this bowl is also going to be darker. So we're going to start to feel that. We're going to start to actually feel that bowl. Another way to think to make form, besides shading, is cross contour or cross hatching. This came out of engraving where you would actually engrave, scratch lines into a plate, into a copper, and then you would go the other way. Now it's called cross contour because you're imagining you're drawing the form. So if it undulates, your line would undulate, right? You would follow the form, it would undulate. Always remember the pressure. Let it come up, let light come through and help build that form. Look at how the light can come in here and we move in here. The closer these lines come together, and you can slowly build them where it will become denser and heavier. So now let's actually look at something. So find a form. I'm going to suggest a bowl or a vase, something that you just are attracted to, because drawing is also a way to understand the world, to understand how we feel about the world. So we're all going to be like walk down the street and say, God, I love that. If you slow down and draw, you'll figure out what it is about the proportions of something that is part of yourself. So if I was to look at this, and now I'm going to switch to a pencil. Again, use our measurements of drawing, our measurements to draw. So if I take this, I can start to see how many of these is across. If I go down, is this equal to this? No, this is inside. How big is this compared to this way? So find something as you're doing it so that you can go back. Now I could say, okay, here's the top of my vase. This comes down. I could see there's this much space is equal to that. So 1, 2, 3. So I know these handles are kind of here. This comes out, like I said, this is a little bit in from there. Now, how do I make this feel? Okay, so I could do one of two things. I could actually start to put light and dark in here. Again, remember that some of this can let light in to help us. I can also do both. I can start to put some lines in. Remember, language. This is not a real vase. Paint the effect it produces, as Rilke would say. So do whatever it is you need to do. This goes out and in. So the lines are going out and in and then up again, right? Find that. And then what I suggest is we're all in these situations now. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, whether you're fortunate enough to have your own mother or you could think about someone else's mother. Maybe find a way to put some flowers in this, and let's start becoming inventive, thinking about our final project. We can either find something that is in front of us, maybe a real plant or an imaginary plant, but what if we were to actually just draw them, and then all of a sudden you're going to see scale again. How do I make something feel like it's in this vase? How do I actually look at a leaf and see, oh my, look at that, like how does it turn? How does it go light to dark? Right? What would happen if I do this? Then you can spend as much time as you need to build this the way you want, and then maybe take a picture and send it to someone. I never felt more about having indoor plants than I do now. All of a sudden I understand that desire to actually have nature and the world close. So it's just a thought. But stay well, stay safe. Practice drawing an object, and then if you want, you could think about what happens if you just quickly put a horizon in. If you put another mark, will that start to feel like this is now on a table, and maybe there's a window and there's the outside. Okay, stay safe, see you in a couple of days.